Let's bring in infrastructure and real estate into the conversation. Femi Akizade is an engineer and he's the managing director and chief executive of Alpha Media Group. It's good to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Boston.
Yes, your sectors seem to be less talked about. Most of the time we talk about currencies and stock market and oil and what have you. But again, real estate is big business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And infrastructure as well. If you tie the two together and you look at the Nigerian market, well, we haven't been able to really deliver value in infrastructure. The natural question is why?
Okay. Thank you very much, Boston. I think the important thing for us to consider first is how does infrastructure impact quality of life. If you look at a few statistics around the world, the Nigerian life expectancy is put at an average of 53, 52 for women and 54 for men. Then you compare that to developed countries like America, where life expectancy is about 82. You talk of the UK, about 83. But you can say that, is it because those are advanced countries? Let's come back to Africa. You take Ghana, and you're talking of life expectancy at about 62 years, and South Africa about 73 years. So it's not about where it is located. When you look at that and do a correlation with the quality of infrastructure, you will see a very, very close significance. And that in its own determines how these two can be related. Because if quality of infrastructure is good, we expect that the quality of life of people will improve. Businesses will thrive better. And we've seen that in the way things have happened in the last 1 year or so, where Nigeria begins to put some serious focus on infrastructure. So I believe strongly that infrastructure has a very, very significant role to play in the ease of doing business, because when that is improved, companies will do better, more employment will be generated, there will be less insecurity challenges, and generally people will have improved earning capacity, and that will generally improve how well we're able to do as a people.
And how long we live.
And how long we live.
That's very important.
Very, very important. The last ranking of World Bank puts Nigeria at 152 out of 187 countries that were ranked. That wasn't good enough. It automatically means that we pay less attention to things that impact our life.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Really sad. But that is on infrastructure generally, whether they're roads, bridges, drainages, whatever.
Yeah.
But again, if we move on to the realm of real estate, in which commercial real estate is one big business in Nigeria for those who know the business, and I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
It looks like, where folks says, we seem to be more, those with deep pockets, seem to be more interested in commercial real estate and not residential.
Okay.
Why?
Okay. I'll bring a simple analysis into this. We are involved in the facilities management business, and facilities management is about connecting people with the space where they live, work, and play. And that is a function of how it enhances the experience of this space to enable people live to their fullest, you know? And we can put real estate into 5 key segments when you look at it from the facility management perspective. It starts with residential. The quality of where you live has a significant impact on your productivity and the quality of your life generally. Your state of mind, your physical and the mental being is impacted by the quality of your residential. Secondly, we talk about the corporate real estate. Corporate real estate is about the real estate assets that companies use to operate their business, the enabling environment, physical environment. So that could be the office environment. It could be residential for those who provide residential for their employees. And that, why is company interested in that? They want to ensure that the quality of the real estate asset they have enables their business very well. If a worker comes to work, you have hired very expensive people, you are paying good salary, but they do not have a good workplace to turn out their business, to do their work. You have hindered their capacity to deliver good value to you. You won't be able to attract good quality talent. It affects your brand. It affects even the return on your investment on those assets. Your cost of operation goes higher because you have more frequent breakdown of maintenance. And I struggle when you look at companies and they're not paying attention to these little things. Take it. You have 10 employees. Power shuts down for 1 hour. 10 employees, an average salary of, let's say, 500,000. 5 million in 1 hour automatically translates to 500,000 naira. Loss of productivity for that hour. Okay? Even if it's not power, you get to the office is dirty. Health of the people is affected. When somebody is down and you look at how long it takes him to recover and goes to the hospital, come back, that time is lost, but you've paid for it. So that's corporate real estate. Now, let's take the third one, where we're looking at commercial real estate. And that's why we're talking about assets that are income yielding. So I invest in residential to make money for me. I invest in a retail mall to make money for me. I invest in an office complex to make money for me. So what is the interest of this investor? He wants to see return on investment in that. And anytime you have that, your number one priority is to make sure that that asset is functional. And that's where facilities management come in. We make sure that that asset is functional, it's available when people need to use
Not
it.
Not when the elevator shuts down in the middle while I'm inside it, or we're all screw-strapped in there.
Exactly. So
overloaded.
Safety is an issue there. Security is an issue. So if I walk in a place and I don't feel secure, I don't feel safe, how can my mind be at rest? How can innovation come into being? So when people say Nigerians go abroad, they excel. Nigerians work here, the same person is less productive. He has a baggage it brings from the house. He didn't sleep well at night because there was no electricity. He gets onto the road, infrastructure road is bad.
Another baggage.
And then he gets to the work, there's no power.
Baggage.
Lift is not working. Somebody is disturbing you. You're not sure whether the next 1 hour the internet will work or not.
Or the water system.
Or the water is working, and then you feel pressed to get to the restroom, you come out with all sorts of issues. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the one we call the public sector assets. So government, they represent all of us. So you get to a government, you get to the federal secretariat or state secretariat, you see the quality of environment there, and yet we say we're inviting foreign direct investors. How will they feel comfortable? What impression do they have of us? Right from the time they appear at the airport, they see the quality of our airport. It's in a state of mess. And you say that you want somebody to bring money to that economy, the risk factor automatically goes higher. And they are really, really concerned about that. So you leave the airport, you come in, you are in the country, you are talking public infrastructure now. Our healthcare is not working. Education is not working. So when you don't have a good educational system that supports the economy through very, very good infrastructure, you are turning out poorly educated people that cannot contribute maximally to the productivity and the economic well-being of the people. So we may not be able to see the direct impact, but facilities management is about helping to make the real estate environment work and deliver value.
Facilities management in terms of maintenance. That's what we're talking about here. So the maintenance culture is the entire conversation we are having here.
Definitely, definitely, because if you invest so much, like we've seen in Nigeria, in the early 70s, we invested so much in roads, bridges, we invested so much.
We built the National Theatre.
National Theatre, National Stadium. All those, because we have not paid attention to the management side of it, yeah, the value begins to go down. And the cost of resuscitating those assets when the value has eroded is far more than what it costs you to tactically and strategically manage them over time, because it's just like your health. If you're careless with your health, it develops complications. When those complications set in, it's more difficult to bring somebody who has had stroke back to life than when his blood pressure is well controlled, he eats well, he exercises well. That is facilities management of the body. So when you relate that to real estate and to infrastructure, we are actually doing ourselves a lot of favor by ensuring we keep this asset in good functional state all around the year.
From the public sector, have a good facility, so I got to hire a facilities manager to do it. That costs money. In the public space, that also costs money. What is the problem here in terms of, let's from the public sector? Because we have a budget, and there's always facility management costs in it. For example, the refineries, almost every year, you have what you call the turnaround maintenance, the TAM money, already there, but the 4 refineries are ground zero.
Boston, you see, let me differentiate between 2 things. There's a difference between what it costs you and the value you get out of it, okay? And that's a very, very wide debate. But in the private sector, for every 1 naira you put into any activity, you expect a minimum of 1 naira to come back to you in value. But you see, complications start to set in when the people who are supposed to make those business case manipulate the data that gets to the decision makers. So you want to hire a facility management company, and your executive asks you to go and bring the case to justify it and how it should be done. And when you are putting the data together, you leave so many costs untouched, and you present the case as if the value you are comparing is relative to what you pay the facility manager. It's a wrong analogy. You should look at what are the consequential damages that happen when you don't have a professional facility manager on ground. Your business disruption is there. The cost of setting things up, what you lose, what you pay the manager is insignificant to the value you get from a professional one. So when you look at public sector assets, a lot of our public sector assets are run down. Look at the National Stadium today. It's in a sorry state. How do we have enough of outdoor recreation when everybody has to sit in-house, watch television from morning till night? Then we complain of health issues more like in the past. We don't have more outdoor recreation now because those facilities are run down, not because we didn't have any. Look at National Theatre. So these are things that we need to reconnect back into our way of living and see how we open things up better. So it costs money, but it brings value if you see the value in the right perspective.
Because if those facilities are maintained, I mean, the external facilities will spend less time on the sofa in front of the box on the table. And that gets you to exercise.
Definitely.
And that actually regenerates and reinvigorates you.
Definitely.
Spend less time in front of television. That's speaking to me, by the way. Spend a lot of time in front of television.
But Boston, let me give you another very good example. Look at our healthcare space. Healthcare today, when you say quality of healthcare, the first thing that determines the quality is the physical environment where the healthcare is being delivered. So you want to walk into a hospital and you feel like you are walking into a 5-star hotel. What is missing is facility management, because
you're speaking to our general hospitals here.
General hospitals,
okay.
Even private hospitals.
Okay.
You go to the private hospital, it's the same thing. So the quality of the physical environment affects the well-being of the patients from the beginning. And then the second one is the service mentality. I understand that in some of the hospitals now, you really have to tip people to do their work. That mentality has to change. We have to look at hospital services and healthcare delivery as a service. And when you look at it from that perspective, you see the patient as a customer, not somebody who is at your mercy for you to help him because in a helpless state. And these are all things that we have not paid adequate attention to over time. And it all boils down to the same thing we're talking about: maintenance culture, facility management practices, and implementing best-in-class services to deliver and make things work better for us.
Engineer Femi Akintunde, let's continue this conversation some other day. But that's quite instructive, how you've taken us, how we can link facilities management to health, to productivity, to how long we live, and corporate profitability.
Exactly.
And paying tax to the government.
Exactly. We pay more tax when we make more money.
Yeah, we pay more tax when we make more money. You don't make more money, you don't pay tax. So even the government loses. Thank you, everyone. Engineer Femi Akintunde, who is the CEO and Managing Director at Alpha Meat Group there.